The many scandals of Mario speedrunning. The main one I remember is when that guy spedrun blind, but he actually could see the entire time. Crazy stuff. Is that... No, is that summoning salt? There's no way you just hit me with the summoning salt.
Like driving down a quiet street at 2
You just did the summoning salt. That actually feels somewhat nostalgic, even though I've watched about 3 summoning salt videos and it wasn't that long ago.
and seeing a homeless man in the middle of the road. Speedrunning is all about going as fast as you can. Speedrunning is a great way to celebrate video games, both old and new, as well as testing the human limits of reaction time, dexterity, and Ritalin consumption. Not only that, but like seeing your girlfriend get ripped apart by wolves, it's a fascinating way to see what went into making something that you loved. While the
Dude, this is why I wanted to watch this video specifically, is that Many Kudos does these informative videos that are really cool, they're really informative, but the best part is just like, he just injects the humor into it randomly and it's absolutely awesome.
Is full of passionate players looking to help one another succeed.
Basically, I was like, oh, he's funnier than me. This will be really good content.
There are inevitably a few who will do anything to see their name at the top of the leaderboard. To celebrate the re-release of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show for Blu-ray and DVD.
What?
Now felt like the perfect time to cover
what even is
the most
that?
infamous stories.
Wait, I used to watch that when I was a kid, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show? Okay, I don't know if it's just a bit of nostalgia on my end, but this show slapped. I can't remember a single episode from this. I can't even remember a single line of dialogue. All I can remember is I was like, damn, a Mario TV show? That's amazing. And you know what? The Mario Bros. Super Show walked so that the Super Mario Bros. Movie that was released this year could run. Let's all remember that. There would be no movie, there would be no Peaches, Peaches, Peaches if it wasn't for this show. Let's all pay respects to the GOAT.
Is in the history of Mario Speed.
Wasn't this the one where Mario was racist? Wait, what?
If you're into speedrunning, you clearly love going as fast as possible in order to outrun those intrusive thoughts. And mate, I've got just the game for you. Warframe is a cooperative action game available on PC, Xbox Series X, PS5,
no way.
Nintendo Switch, and Samsung Microwave.
None of those things are great. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Flinging your supple,
my God!
Body around a massive open world.
I think this is an ad.
Like time-looping adventure.
I can't believe that Warframe is still around.
Update.
Okay, I understand this is an ad. That's like cool. No, I'm really glad that you got an ad. I can't believe Warframe is still around. How long? Warframe has been around since like 2015. My friends used to play Warframe in high school. How does Warframe still updating the content to this day? Am I giving free promotion to Warframe for saying, wow, there's so much content and it's updating to this day and it's still good and people still like it? Yes, I'm giving free promotion to it because they advertised on this video, which means if I'm reacting to it, then I have to give free promotion to this thing as well, because that way it provides more value to the original creator of the video. Anyway, if you want to play Warframe, go and click that link. That'd be cool.
Thanks to Warframe for sponsoring this video.
Thanks Warframe for sponsoring that video, not me, that video, him. Thanks for sponsoring his video.
64, the 64th entry in the Mario Kart franchise, finally answered the question, what if Mario could legally drive without glasses? Dripping with nostalgia and a general obsession with going fast, matched only by that blue gopher, it's no surprise that Mario Kart 64 is a popular candidate for speedrunning. For years, a series of runners were competing for the holy grail of Mario Kart 64 speedruns, the perfect 32 out of 32. Playing in the non-shortcut category, where runners have to complete the stages without using glitches to skip large sections of them, their goal was to hold a world record in all 32 categories at once.
I remember watching the Summoning Salt video about this, where there was like 2 speedrunners that went back and forth on one map over and over again to claim ultimate victory. It was like a war of the ages. It was like Rome versus Carthage in the days of old. It was like watching the elephants clash into the Roman legionary lines, except in Mario Kart speedruns.
This involves getting a world record on all 16 stages in both the 3-lap category and the single lap category. Given the popularity of the game, you might think this would be impossible if it weren't for Matthias Rustermeyer, a Mario Kart prodigy.
Is that really his name?
Even went on an
Matthias Rustermeyer is the most metal name I've ever heard. And not because his name is Rustermeyer. I just think that's a sick name. That's awesome.
mushroom diet while speedrunning the game, a form of method acting that he claims gives him super speed. Matthias came dangerously close to achieving the perfect 32, so a team of players formed a coalition known as the Anti-1.0 Alliance in order to prevent this. You would think a bunch of talented runners from across the world teaming up to take down Matthias would have stopped him then and there, but as we saw during those wars we held a few years back, the Germans came dangerously close to winning. I should point
I mean, they didn't really come dangerously close. The only time they were even remotely close is when America wasn't in the war and Britain was like the last bulwark of the Allies because they rolled over France in like 15 minutes. And then when America joined the war, it's kind of GG's because they didn't make nukes in time. Maybe if they'd made nukes, they would have had a chance, but how are you going to launch a nuke across the Atlantic? It's not really going to work. Germans were pretty rolled on. But I want to say, do not forget what the Soviets did, okay? Soviets were the main reason that the Germans got absolutely clapped. Soviets did so much in that war, okay? Let's not forget about what the Soviets did. Soviets,
the anti-1.0
they did most of the work, to be honest.
Formed out of spite for Matthias, but purely for the fun of competition. I would highly recommend that you watch Summoning Salt's amazing video on the ups and downs of Matthias and the A1A Alliance. But, you know, after you watch all of this video first and
got you. Don't you worry.
And join my Patreon. Unfortunately,
yeah, I got it. I got you, man. Got you. Watch this. Boom. See?
Out of 32 records on multiple occasions, Matthias just couldn't clutch out the perfect 32. This was largely due to rival runner Dan Burbank. Dan was an
no, Dad. That's the most American name I've ever heard in my life. You have Matthias Rustermeyer, the most German person that you can see in the world, and then we have Dan Burbank. It's like, yeah, I live in Middle America. I come from Idaho. I'm Dan Burbank. I'm a 32-year-old account manager.
But always fell just short of Matthias. With 32 different records to chase, Dan would steal one off Matthias, who would inevitably claim it back a few days later, while Dan worked on a different record in the meantime. This back and forth continued until Dan got sick of the constant game of Cat Mario and Mouser. Of the game of cat and mouse.
Yep.
Sorry. After Dan realized that he was never going to get the perfect 32 by simply being better at the game, he did the unthinkable. Since any record Dan would set would be undone by Matthias in a matter of days or even hours, he figured that instead he would hoard his times. Over a period of 15 months, Dan would privately beat Matthias's times, lulling him into a false sense of security. Dan would still keep up appearances, dropping the occasional
Did he wait and then drop a carpet bomb or something like that?
world record to keep Matthias busy and continue denying him the perfect 32. That was until June of 2020, when Dan dropped 17 new records at once.
17? Oh, right. He was hoarding up all of the good times and all the separate maps because there's 32 separate maps, and he just he carpet bombed the entire place. Dude, Matthias he probably woke up that morning and had a bloody aneurysm.
To dethrone Matthias from
oh my god, look at the switch there. That's insane.
First time in 7 years. Dropping 17 records in one day made it pretty obvious that he'd been hoarding them, and the community was not impressed. Short of actual cheating, this is the shittiest move I've seen from the MK64 community. Dan, you hid your progress for over a year, and for what? So you could stroke your ego by claiming to have been a champ for at least a day? Don't make me laugh. This was nothing more than a year of cowardice, during which you deprived the community of what could have been a thrilling battle for the title and a fantastic storyline to follow. Wow, what an egoistic move. If you could not have done it in any other way than hoarding for a year, have you thought that you might simply not be good enough to rightfully claim the champ title? Some people—
Jesus Christ, that was something like out of an anime villain speech. My god. It sounds like... What an egoistic move. If you could not have done it any other way than hoarding for a year, have you thought about it that you might simply not be good enough to rightfully claim the champion title? Ending such a long reign with this dick move is very sad to see. So it reads like an anime.
Have you thought that you might simply not be good enough to rightfully claim the champ title? Some people felt that the backlash was undeserved, as he broke no rules and did legitimately beat Matthias's records. If he was posting when this happened, Matthias would have reclaimed every
it's technically allowed, right?
Achieving them. Dan built up records for 1.5 years with no one knowing about them.
Is there anything wrong with that though? Is it egoistic to do that, to build up records and then release them? Because most speedrunners would want to release a record as soon as it comes out because they're like, oh shit, I'm the best. I need to tell everyone that I'm the best. But I guess since you knew in that scenario that that person would then go and beat your record after that, is it that bad of a move? I'm not in the speedrunning community, so I can't say one way or the other. I think it'd be kind of hype if I did that. I feel like really good. I don't see how it's a detriment to anyone else because the records get there eventually anyway. But maybe I'm wrong and people can inform me on what's going on with the speedrunners. I don't know.
It's poor sportsmanship at best and borderline cheating at worst. Nah, you're just a crybaby loser. You beat the records. That's all that matters. Unless you are a huge loser and a crybaby. There's stuff like when he posted matters. But I don't give a fuck. He got the records.
Damn.
Edit. To clarify, I have had sex, so that may be influencing my point of view.
Dude, that was completely unnecessary. He went so hard on him for no reason. He went for his entire family tree on that one. He obliterated his entire line of being.
Dan was aware that what he did was pretty shitty. I'm not going to claim any kind of moral high ground in doing it this way. I recognize that
Wait, Dan's game? Wait, Dan's game? Wait, like the streamer Dan's game? Like the emote Dan's game? Is this the same Dan's game or am I losing it? Dan's game is a streamer. Does he actually do Mario Kart or is this a different Dan's game?
This was very underhanded and probably the biggest dick move in Kart besides actually cheating times. My intent was not to damage the community, even though some feel that this has happened. 3 days later, he issued an apology. I 100% made the decision to do this because I believe that I would never be champion any other way. Even though I followed the letter of the current law while I was doing this.
Hold on, we need to add some sad music behind this as well. There's no way. We need to add some sad music here.
I was never under any illusions that what I did was the right thing to do. Yet I did it anyway. I don't think I honestly deserve the label of champion in a community that is founded on trust when I specifically used dishonest methods to achieve that label. While some accepted his apology.
That's so sad. Dude, he wrote a manifesto. That thing was like 10 paragraphs long.
Its close proximity to the incident in question did make some people doubt its legitimacy. Don't regret it, man. You had enough time to consider your actions and deliberately chose what you chose. It's what you wanted. You got what you wanted, so be happy about it. Your apology now, only a few days removed from your unhoard, proves you're not truly sorry about what you did. You wanted it, and you did it.
Am I weird in thinking this is not a big deal? That people are kind of overblowing this? I don't know. I'm not really in the speedrunning community. I can't speak for how I'd feel if I was super into speedrunning Mario Karts and then someone came out of nowhere and dumped a bunch of stuff that they had been working on for like a year because they wanted to be the champion for a day. Because either way, they still got those records, right? I feel like this isn't really that big of a deal. I could be a bad take here, though.
To criticize Dan's choice to hoard records, the real victim here was Matthias. Combined with his immense skill, had Matthias hoarded records like Dan during the height of his quest for the perfect 32, he would have easily reached his goal. But Matthias knew that—
well, if he's really that good, then he could at least get the records back, right? Or at the very least, he would have had records that they couldn't have beaten anyway. If Matthias is awesome. Like, he's amazing at this game. So he, in theory, could have gotten records that were unbeatable by Dan, even if he spent a year trying to do it, right?
It was more than just a title, a technicality to be won by any means necessary. It was a competition to be won, an event for the community to enjoy, and a means for runners to be pushed to their absolute limits. He was understandably distraught by Dan's underhanded technique. I always had big respect for Dan, even though our connection wasn't as strong as mine to some other people in the community, which is totally fine. That certainly dropped down to 0. I acknowledge the insane performance of driving so many overall world records in May/June or whenever they happened. And I mean the pure runs without context. As so many of you already said, and it feels good to have your support in this moment, the trust and honor Dan has sacrificed and completely lost in my opinion to reach his goal is ultimate and irreparable. One of the most important values of this—
really, it's irreparable trust has been sacrificed? I don't know. Because he didn't release his records as soon as he got them? I feel like you can forgive him, maybe. He said he was sorry. I mean, maybe he didn't mean it. Maybe that's the problem, is that he didn't mean his apology because he only apologized after he had done it and after all of his records had been replaced. So maybe you think, okay, maybe he didn't actually mean it. Maybe he'd apologize immediately. Then people would think, oh, actually he did genuinely make a mistake here and then he is sorry about it. But I don't know. This seems like a bit of an overreaction, though. I feel like it is something that you would be very upset about because you spend so much time trying to get these records in the first place that it hurts when someone, I guess, is lying by omission. In a way, I suppose it is lying by omission if you just don't say that you have a world record when you have it and you dump it all at once just so you can be the champion, world champion for a little bit.
This place has been ignored. Competitiveness. While Matthias would take back his title,
maybe it's just speedrun etiquette. I don't know.
This betrayal broke something in him. While he would continue playing for a time, a year later, he announced his retirement. The time has come for me to retire from
that's a shame.
Time trials because I completely lost the key value to go on: fun. Since the
sad music
in June 2020. Something broke apart for me. It wasn't only my top spot in the rankings, it was so much more. I couldn't enjoy the whole effort to improve as much anymore, and what was left of our seemingly split community didn't make me feel home, unlike all those years before. Dan would go on to be the first
maybe he just didn't want to play Mario anymore.
Achieve the legendary perfect 32 out of 32. This feat, which just a year earlier would have been cause for massive celebration amongst the community, received little fanfare. The community
Wait, he got the world record on all 32 tracks and everyone hated him already, so like, fuck this guy, I don't care about his world record, this guy sucks. Then no one gave him any congratulations because of the information he withheld like a year ago. Oh man, what a sad ending. That must feel terrible.
Eventually vote to ban the hoarding of top 10 record times.
Oh, it's against the rules now. You're not allowed to hoard your times. All right, on to the next scandal. Cheetah, mushroom eater, the next scandal.
Have technically cheated in his pursuit of fame. These next few blokes definitely did. Cheating in speedruns can come in many forms, from hacking the game's code to paying some guy off Craigslist to do it for you. One of the most common methods is splicing. Splicing is the act of using editing software to cut together a compilation of all of your best runs. Sort of like how
oh no, that's cheating, man. You can't do that.
Where I don't leak out of one of my many orifices. Ah, shit. This is usually done in hard to
Was that blood
places,
editing? That was really good.
like loading screens or other locations in the game where the screen might go black for a second, or parts where they
oh, that's messed up. That'd be so easy to do when you have black screens on loading screens as well. It'd be so easy to go into an editing software and just boop, just take that part out, slide that part in, just stitch that together. There we go, and you got yourself a world record. Congratulations. That's sneaky.
This allows you to replace one section where you run badly, like after the Boston Marathon, with one part where you run good, like before the Boston Marathon. Yep, that's not making it in. There is still some skill involved here, as you have to run the game good enough to get the cuts to splice together in the first place. But
no, it's still cheating. A speed run is all about the entire run from start to finish. You can't start stitching stuff together. That's not how it works. It's never been like that. That's proper cheating, that is.
Would have got a world record if you'd only played good at the other 90% of the game. A great example of a bloody splicer was Holy Moly 2207. Holy Moly held the Super Mario 64 16-star world record for 3 years between 2005 and 2008. Now, that's practically ancient history at this point, and nobody
Bro, what were they editing on back then, 2005? Were they editing on Windows Movie Maker? I don't think Adobe Premiere was around then.
Go back and trawl through his old record if he'd just kept his mouth shut. In 2017, he commented on the video of the then world record holder, Cheese, saying, "Yeah baby, you can play like Taz. Very impressive. Back in 2004, I held the 16-star world record for several years. Holy moly." This weird humble brag piqued the interest of user Gothic Logic.
That is such a cringe thing to say. To go to someone that is the peak of the game that you used to be good at and be like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool, but like, I used to be really good at this video game, so yeah, like, you want some tips? I can give you some tips, bro. That's so cringe. It's like you're trying to hold on to fame and glory from a bygone era, and you're completely washed up at that point, and your skills have waned, and your fame has gone, so you're trying to desperately cling on to it by saying that, oh, well, I used to be the best. Yeah, no, I used to be great. So it's very cringe.
Suspicious of this relatively unknown character who had held such a prestigious record for such a long time, he decided to view this under a spectrogram. Despite sounding like an app for ghosts to post pictures of their boobies, a spectrogram is a visual representation of the spectrum of frequencies of a signal as it varies with time. Yep, that clears things up. While cutting two identical black screens together would be near impossible to notice, the audio accompanying them is not quite as forgiving. Even with
that's smart.
complete silence to the human ear, may have some low hum that a spectrogram can read. Upon reviewing Holy Moly 2207's run, Gothic Logic found a number of breaks and overlaps in the audio that would not be there in a normal playthrough. All occurred during loading screens. With the proof
he found the sounds
submitted, his record was struck from the history books.
Dude, that's the greatest self-report of all time. What an absolute idiot. He just self-reported on himself. That's what you get. That's what you get for trying to be a dick to other people that are doing well. That's what you get for trying to be an arse. You get no record because you cheated. That's your fault. You can't blame anyone else except yourself. That's why you don't humble brag like that.
And he was executed without trial, all because he couldn't help
he was killed.
Brag.
Should have just not said anything. I would really prefer if you would not cheat the Paper Mario 9900 million year door. Okay.
While Super Mario 64 was a sick experiment to see how few polygons they could render poor Mario in, this next game takes the Peach's cake by rendering him in just one. Paper Mario, the 999-year door, would be the scene of our next crime. And the criminal, Chibi. Now, Chibi's already pretty infamous as far as...
Wait, I feel like I've seen that guy before. Where is he from?
He was the star of the...
That's him! Oh my god, I just freaked out so hard my voice cracked. That was really cringe, Daniel. You shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, what am I gonna do? Just not be 15 years old? Sorry about that. I remember this!
Clip from Summer Games Done Quick.
Dude.
After he invites himself onto the couch while another runner attempts to play.
So confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
Dude, Games Done Quick is such a funny area of just cringe moments and funny moments. He just turns to her and said, doesn't he look a little bit like Drake Bell as well, from Drake and Josh? That's so sad. Oh man, that must hurt.
This video alone should qualify you for some form of world record, but Chibi's exploits extend beyond the mere crashing of couches. While streaming speedrunning attempts of Paper Mario, it was discovered that he was cheating in order to perform an incredibly difficult skip. One of his viewers, a Taz speedrunner named Malio, voiced his skepticism. Something didn't seem right about that. I am accusing you of cheating.
Dude, oh my god, if to see that in your chat, that must freak you out. It's like Ace Attorney has just slammed you for murder. I am accusing you of cheating. Feel free to make an objection if you want, but I think you're a cheater.
So I will analyze this later and conclude with more information.
Confirming God, that would send you to bed with so much anxiety. I'm going to analyze this, and I will return later with my findings.
He posted a document that outed Chibi as using a hack that allows him to tweak his maximum jump height. After sending proof, Chibi acts dumb. Chibi, you can either fess up now or face the consequences later. Okay, you got me. The first time was legit, but I didn't want to fuck up the second one. This is
sure. Why does this always happen? Whenever someone gets caught, they're always like, okay, yeah, you got me, but like, I didn't cheat the second time though. I cheated a little bit. They'll admit to like a little bit of cheating, then like, no, dude, I totally did legit the second time though. Every single time, every time someone is caught lying.
I arguably know the most about this game because I have experience using an emulator in slowdown. I've collected frame data of every single jump height scenario, and I know that you can only land from the second jump without using a spin jump if your first jump has the max height. Yet you lost height.
Oh my god.
On that first jump.
That last line, look at this last line. So you're lying after admitting to lying, which is further disrespect to me. I'm admitting to it. They were both faked. That's what I thought. Thank you for admitting you lied.
So, you were lying after admitting to lying, which is a further disrespect to me. I'm admitting it. They were both faked. Thank you.
He folded.
Responded by sending
he folded immediately.
House, which only managed to anger his mother live on stream.
Someone sent pizzas to his house?
What?
You need to get off. 2 people now showed up. Passport, pizza, and black.
For those keeping score at home, that marks
Wait, oh no, is he like 17 years old and he lived with his mom? Oh no, that's not fair. If he's like really young, that's not that fair. Don't dox him. Don't send pizzas to his house. What's wrong with you? Anything that involves home addresses, you should never do. Absolutely never do. You should be locked up if you do stuff like that. Because that's getting way too close to swatting. That's messed up.
2 incredibly uncomfortable videos starring Chibi, which does actually qualify him for a world record.
Folded speedrunning, Mario 63. I love Mario 63, it's awesome.
Categories are as vast as the day is long. And for a game as popular as Mario 64, they tend to skew towards the ridiculous. Not content to simply beat the game as fast as possible or collect every star as fast as possible, runners invent categories such as collecting every coin,
is it the blindfolded one?
Every Goomba a Glasgow smile, or the star of this story, beating the game while wearing a blindfold. Yes,
yeah, I remember this. I do remember this one.
Alone would be difficult, and you'd be right, which is why runner super fast jellyfish just fucking cheated instead. His blindfold must have more holes in it than a piece of Swiss cheese in an American high school, as he can clearly see throughout the run. In order to sell the idea that he can't, he performs this weird pantomime of purposefully messing up, falling off ledges, or getting hit by enemies. This ends up having the opposite effect.
You know what the funny thing is, if you purposefully get hit, or if you purposely fall off a ledge in order to make it look like you're not doing it correctly, look like you're trying to make it harder on yourself in a blindfolded run, you would immediately reset the run if you no longer knew where you were. If you fell off of an edge and you didn't know where you were, that's kind of like the end of the run. Because if you no longer can hear the audio cues to figure out where you are and not use your innate knowledge of the level based on just practice and trial and error and muscle memory, at that point, you have to reset. You can't keep going. So if you keep going afterwards, that just proves that you're a cheater.
As many of these mistakes would result in a full reset if it was an actual blindfolded speedrun. Instead,
yeah, exactly.
Somehow always able to recover and continue the run, no matter where Mario ends up. Blindfolded.
Which makes no sense, because if you're blindfolded, then you're just using muscle memory and your knowledge of the game executing like a puzzle in a specific set of orders or a specific set of inputs that'll get you to the end. But if you mess up the inputs, then the inputs change that you need to be able to correct it, which you don't know. You don't have that muscle memory in you.
Speedruns require a ton of safe, consistent strategies that they can use to line up Mario based off careful positioning and sound cues. Meanwhile, old mate here with the Victoria's Secret special on his head just kind of freeballs it and always manages to get Mario where he needs to go. The next time you play a video game that you're super familiar with,
he just figures it out. No, dude, I'm just really lucky, man. I was just listening to the game. I'm just really lucky. I don't need my eyes. I'm actually blind anyway, so I'm a bit of a blind gamer, you know. So you're making fun of a blind gamer as well, which is, that's fucked up. You can't do that. That's messed up.
The main cities. I guarantee you'll think you're where you want to be, only to open your eyes and find your character wrapped around a lamppost 5 feet from where you started. Despite
hate it when that happens every Saturday night.
His third blindfolded speedrun, his final time was 42 minutes, a time that would put him at the 4th fastest blindfolded run on record. It seems
wait, he did a blindfolded run and he was still like almost 20 minutes behind the other blindfolded runs, except he was cheating and he could see the entire time, which is hilarious. I guess he did that to make it seem like more legit, right?
The people watching his stream believed his charade, although he did have a few skeptics. When asked to repeat a portion of the game with a full blanket over his head instead of his blindfold, or fold I guess, he uncomfortably stalls before hitting them with a no.
No.
After calling videos from
I mean, not to be like all body language Andy about that, but that doesn't look like someone that's telling the truth. If you see that in the chat, you're just like, what? No, of course not. No, you don't be like, you don't do like the LA Noire reaction where they do the insane overreaction when they're lying. In LA Noire, they use the proper facial features, so if they're not lying, they're just like, no, of course not. But if they are lying, they're like, no, of course not.
Such as Charlie Brown 64 and Moist Critical gained millions of views. Super Fast Jellyfish did.
Dude, of course there's a Moist Critical video on this subject. Dude, Critical makes a video on everything. I feel like I'm doing something productive every day when I just like make a video, but then Moist Critical comes along that owns an agency, makes music, has a band, owns a wrestling league, streams on Twitch almost daily, makes videos almost daily, has a graphic novel, freaking owns an esports team as well. Like, how am I supposed to live up to this?
What all people do when backed into a corner. Claimed it was a joke. Now, I know I'm not really one to talk when it comes to being unfunny, but the run itself is painfully dry. Unless he's operating on some hyper-ironic Adult Swim at 3 AM vibe that you're just not stoned enough to understand, I think he might be lying. Mistakes and goofs where he clearly forgot that he's meant to be blindfolded are played off as though it's all part of the joke.
That's funny.
I mean, good one, I guess.
Yeah, so I chose to do a bunch of different strats that I would normally do, and that was a conscious decision to just add to further on.
Does he have a PewDiePie chair?
Like
he has the PewDiePie chair.
Real.
Now, in fairness, he never submitted any of these faked runs to the official leaderboards. He also states that he never expected it to be seen beyond the 20 or so people who were watching his stream. It is entirely possible that this was just some silly bit taken completely out of context. But if I've learned anything from making this video, it's that you don't fuck with speedrunners. So what do you think? Do you reckon he was being malicious and faking this for views, or was this just a bad joke that blew up?
I feel like if no one called him out on it and this wasn't discovered, that he probably would have tried to submit it eventually. Or maybe he understood that he made enough mistakes in that where it would be found out. But he was, when he went into it, trying to make a run that could have been up there along with the 4 bests. But at some point during the speedrun, he realized that it wasn't gonna get passed. It wasn't gonna pass because he made so many mistakes. But he probably would have came back in the future, done it again, cheated, and then tried to submit that. So it's kind of good that he got called out, because I think eventually he would have tried to submit it and lied about it. I can't say for sure, but that's how it feels to me.
This last cheater is so weird, I don't even know if we can call it cheating. In 2017, Mexican production company and YouTube channel Butterboom uploaded a video that claimed to show someone beating the Super Mario Bros. Any percent in 5 minutes and 12 seconds. While this probably sounds impressive
5 minutes.
to someone who's never heard of speedrunning before, in actuality, this time would put you at the 674th place on the leaderboard. The run is
not too shabby.
Very obviously faked, with actor Tavo Betancourt pretending to play along to a series of spliced runs. In between
What is this, like an advertisement for Coke? He's got it front and center. Why does he have a slice of pizza here?
enjoying a slice of pizza and a Coke along with a heart monitor that also appears to be fake. It's clearly
Does it go up in increments of 5? Your heart doesn't go up in increments of 5.
animated to jump between 85 and 89 beats per minute, only going up to 95 beats per minute after the run is already finished. Not content to just steal footage from some mid-tier runners, they instead opt to steal from the cream of the crop. In between footage of previous world records, he uses footage from Taz runs, or tool-assisted speedruns.
What? He uses speedrun footage from literal robots that are programmed to play it in the most efficient way possible. There is no possible way to play it more efficiently than a task run, a tool-assisted speedrun. That is the absolute pinnacle of what is capable by any kind of runner, whether it be human or not human. That's insane.
You use special software to go frame by frame, inputting the exact button presses you want in order to craft a perfect run.
That's awesome.
The Taz run is especially hilarious, as the frame perfect inputs of the Taz are physically impossible for a human to do on a traditional controller, no matter how skilled they are. At one point, he goes to reach for the slice of pizza during one of the game's brief cutscenes before realizing all too late that he doesn't have time to eat it. This shows how
That's so funny. He doesn't even know what game he's playing. That's awesome. No, that's not. Dude, you can't even consider this cheating. This is just funny. That's awesome. I'm sure they wasn't going to try and submit this for an actual run. That's hilarious.
with his own
No time to eat, Sag.
and the game in general. Now, you might think a run this fake would be played off as some kind of parody or joke, right? But Tavo plays it pretty straight the whole way through. The cardboard stiff pizza and Coke accidentally add some humor into the mix. Although they seem
Wait, the slices are stuck together. They're so cold. What is happening? What kind of desk is this? Why is there a lava lamp there? Is he sad that he can't eat more of the pizza in his 5-minute speed runs? Why is he eating a pizza during a 5-minute speed run? Can he not go 5 minutes without a slice of pizza? What is going on?
Tavo thought would make him more relatable as a gamer. At the end, he even celebrates like he just achieved some kind of world record. So the two
What
most
is he's going in on that pizza though, still, Jesus.
obvious questions here are: 1, why would he have done done this? And 2, why would anyone have cared about such a clearly fake speedrun? To answer your first question, I believe it was done for children. The English in the description's all fucked up and just looks like someone randomly pushed buttons on a keyboard. But after breaking it down, I managed to figure out that it says, join us to see how our friend Tavo Betancourt, in a relaxed and fun way, plays the legendary Super Mario video game from the 80s, incredibly, in just 5 minutes. You cannot lose this. And
you cannot lose this. Hear me? You cannot lose this. Do you think kids care about a speedrun world record? Do you think a kid is going to care that you're playing the original Super Mario game in 5 minutes? All kids care about is Subway Surfer. Just play Subway Surfers instead. That'll probably get more kids on it.
In addition to the patronizing language, the video is set to Made for Kids, which puts it on the YouTube Kids platform. And just
bro, no kid has played Super Mario from the 1985.
Tables all comments. So to me, it seemed like this big production company had got wind of just how popular speedrunning was getting, and absent-mindedly asked one of their creators to make a video on it in order to, fill a niche. So
this is like an 80-year-old man. It's like, kids like playing video games, don't they? Why don't we? The kids like that Super Mario brother, right? They like that. Get them to play the Super Mario Brother on the YouTube channel.
Why would anyone actually care about this? Tavo made no attempt to submit this as a genuine record, reinforcing the idea that this is just a piece of disposable content for people whose frontal lobes haven't developed yet.
Well, at the very least, he had an Attack on Titan poster in the background, so that's kind of base. I'm just on season 3 of that. It's pretty sick.
Video been uploaded by some small YouTuber with a couple hundred subs. I doubt anyone would have paid it much mind, but this was uploaded to one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world with 46.5 million subscribers. The video itself currently sitting at 6.5 million views, with no clear indication that this was a joke and no credit given to the people whose runs were stolen. This almost reads as a genuine, albeit very stupid, attempt at passing the
What is going on? This channel has 46.6 million subscribers and 7,000 views on a video, 10,000 views, 70. What is going on? What is this channel? Most popular video, 83 million views, episode 48 of something, 77 million views from 4 years ago. What is, I know it's a Spanish channel, so I'm clearly not going to understand what's going on here, but what is going on here,
This off as a real record. Years later, after being called out by the speedrunning community, Tavo put out an incredibly overproduced apology video. Despite the excessive production value that has keywords of Tavo's apology appearing on screen and
subtitles on his apology video,
copyright-free somber music plays in the background, he does seem sincere. He admits that he was an up-and-coming actor who was desperate to do anything for views, but
okay, well, I would forgive him, but he doesn't have a dog in his apology video, so it doesn't count.
In the end, he just ended up looking like a maximum mofo. He also gives out the fantastic advice of being careful what you upload to the internet.
Do you make a Max Mofo reference? Be careful of what you upload to the internet? Is he still talking to the 5-year-olds?
Yeah, because it's going to be there forever.
Damn, this video is absolutely awesome. I think that's fantastic. Thank you, many kudos for letting me watch that. I think that people should stop cheating at speedruns. I know that might be a very controversial take, but hey, that's what I think. Anyway, if you want me to react to a video, post it in my Discord server. Links in the description.